I'm very upset.
We understand. And
Let me express my disappointment with you, Mr. Gomez. You picked up a felony assault of a peace officer while you're on bond for this case.
Person call at a closed gas station. You observe the defendant walking around the vacant lot holding 2 glass bottles of Corona beer, indicating possible intoxication, and he threw a glass bottle at an officer before fleeing on foot. Officers pursued the defendant for half a mile before detaining him, and while being transferred between patrol units, the defendant had already moved his hand restraints to the front of his body, and the officer attempted to reposition the restraints behind him. That's when the defendant pulled away and struck the officer's left thumb with his elbow, causing pain, redness, and tenderness. And then the defendant attempted to flee again, but was taken to the ground.
All I know is that you've now picked up a felony case. Where'd you going? I got to take him.
Well, Judge, well, if we're going to be revoking him on that, then I do think it is our issue to delve into. And I think there's issues with the way he stopped. And, but if that's going to be the basis to revoke him, then this court doesn't. But the entirety of the information that the officers receive is based on what I would contend is an illegal stop. You can't just walk up and say, without more, there's no
Go
reason.
up to a guy and say, hey, let's talk.
No, that's not what they said. They said, walked up and said, show me your ID. And that's an illegal detention. That is a detention, and it's one that's unlawful under the circumstances.
I don't know.
Well, I'd like to set it for a hearing if we're going to do that.
Sure.
And he posted bond, 10,000 in the felony case. We think that's sufficient to ensure that he appears for a hearing, a formal hearing on it without needing to take him into custody. I've talked with his mother. His mother has had good contact with me throughout this process, and she'll ensure that he's here. I think if we set it for early next week, then we can delve more into the felony case and figure out if the mental health, and I think the state can get an answer about whether mental health treatment is what's appropriate. We think it's appropriate. And even if you delve into the background of our case, the allegation is that he called the police himself and said, hey, I've got traffic tickets. Come arrest me. Come to my home and arrest me. An allegation, well, and that he also said, and when you get here, I'd like to be in a fight. And when the cops arrive, they oblige him. They put their tasers away and fight him. And that's consensual conduct.